Hey, are you looking for a plane that's a tier 5 premium that'll piss off your opponents and make them rage all over chat? Stay tuned! Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shiv, and today we're going to be talking about the SE-100 Heavy Fighter. This is a tier 5 premium plane that's been working pretty damn good for me, to say the least. I've had games in this where I have just completely crushed the hell out of my opponents. It's been hilarity. Some of which have led to me getting an ace. Yes, an ace in a heavy fighter. It is very possible, especially with this plane. So let's talk about some of the cool things about this plane. Number one, it has 4 20mm guns in the front, and these are the English Hispano Souza 20s. And in the back, that's right, it has another 20mm cannon. And you'll notice that the barrel on these is pretty damn long. And that's actually going to play to one of its biggest strengths. So let's talk about the rest of the equipment here that we're going to be looking at. So as I said, you got the Hispanos right here. Boom. They have effective range of 660 meters. But the rear cannon has an effective range of 800 meters. Throw in a rear gun stabilizer and you add 15% more to that. Awesome. Alright, other things that we've used on this plane is engine tuning, because a heavy fighter relies on being able to get in and out of combat quickly. It doesn't turn very well. It's pretty much an energy fighter with a lot of forward firing guns, and you really are going to need that speed. Next up, we're using reinforced airframe. So we get 15% extra HP, as well as a minus 10% chance of critical damage to engines, crew, wing, and tail. And that whole decrease to crew is actually quite important, because we're not using the additional armor plates to protect them, so we need a little bit of protection. All right, we really do. It's a trade-off here. Okay, so there are no upgrades to take because it's a premium plane. But let's talk about crew skills, because this is a very important thing. So we'll start with the pilot. And again, some of you may not agree with my choices here. That's fine. And I completely agree with it. But at least allow me to explain this out. Okay, so for the pilot, we went with Engine Guru. Actually, we went with the protection expert first. Why? Because every little bit of life helps. And increasing that 15% by 40% actually made a lot of sense. All right? So that's more life we get to have. And as you can see, we are rocking a survivability of 424 because of it. Yay! The next thing we are using is the Engine Guru. 3% engine thrust. Okay, that's pretty damn good. And the last thing we're using is the cruise flight. Now, this is a temporary until I get one more point. And then it's going to be an argument between keeping cruise flight and possibly going over to Engine Guru 2, which is just 2% more, but that's a constant 2%, all right? And it does increase our top speed. So, hard to say. Another option we could definitely go with is probably the Aerodynamics Expert, as this will increase the engine tuning and make that a little bit more effective as well. But the reason why I went with cruise flight is because I've discovered that this is a really good skill to have on heavy fighters. Many a times you're going to be playing the game and you're going to want to like boost into the combat right away. And then when you get there, you're not going to have any boost to get the hell out. And that's like the big gimmick of a heavy fighter. Get in, cause some damage, and then get the hell out and possibly drag some enemy with you, which will allow your team to be able to focus either on the ones chasing you or finish up the few that are left in that area and thus cap the area. All right. Bots are really notorious for falling for this quite nicely. All right. 100%. I use this to exploit bots left and right. And what cruise flight does is allows you to get to that point without having to use your boost as much. You'll probably still use it a little bit just to close that distance, but you'll still have way more left over. And once you get out about 20 seconds from them hitting you, it's going to kick back in again, and it's going to help keep your forward momentum going without dissipating too much of that speed. All right? Always a good skill. Now, for rear gunners, again, this is going to come down to a preference choice here. I've been testing it out between armor, which I think armor is really good. The rate of fire does increase because of that. But aiming-wise, as I do a lot of manual aiming, I find that quick reflexes is better because it locks onto the target quicker. All right, if I'm able to get onto the target quicker, it kind of balances out to the amount of shells I'm getting onto it. True fact. Now, the next skill I took was defensive fire, and this is, again, personal choice. I find defensive fires to be probably one of the best skills in the game. Minus 30% damage to anything I'm targeting with this. Well, many a times I use a technique called tag and drag, which is I dive in, I beat up on air defense fighter, and if I'm the only one there, I generally pull some of the other air defense fighters behind me. Well, if they're chasing me and trying to shoot me, being able to negate the damage that they're doing while punching huge holes through their plane seems like a really good idea. And we're also taking the endurance here basically to make our rear gunner a little bit less susceptible to getting hurt. This is actually a 30% total reduction in the chance of him getting hurt. That's kind of big. I could get it higher if I was running additional plates, but we're not, so we're not going to go down that line of thinking. All right, so the plane is actually really good. It plays similar to most conventional heavy fighters. You're not going to be doing a lot of turning with this. You generally want to get to a decent altitude, fly to your primary target. You're going to look for another target. You wait for them to engage something, then you dive down on top of them, get to behind them, and basically try to use the fact that you have 420s in front of you to basically ruin their day. Now, you're not always going to kill them. All right, let's be honest here. You're going to hit them maybe 10 times, give or take, and, you know, pretty much wreck the hell out of them, and then they're going to peel off. Well, a simple slight turn to the left or right, depending on which direction they pull off to, will line them up perfectly with your rear gun. So then it's just hit T, aim, and hold down your mouse button until they go poof. And it's a really beautiful thing, and I really love playing this plane. On stream, people request me playing this plane quite often. It's affectionately got a name on our stream known as Lamu because this camo looks like a cow. And as you can see here, we've got 5 kill mark badges on this. That's a lot of planes we've killed with it, and we've caused people to rage repeatedly. I've been called a stat patter because of this plane alone. It's just awesome. But it is a wonky looking plane, but it plays so good. But you know what? We've done a lot of talky. Let's get to some gameplay, shall we? Alrighty, so beginning of any match, you always want to look around and see, you know, the layout of things. Now here we see we've got a garrison to the right, and we got an airfield to our left, and we've got the mine in the middle. Well, we have no ordnance, so going to the mine makes no sense. Garrison is a tertiary target at best, so our primary target that we're going to go for is the airfield. That is pretty much the best target we could go to right then and there. The only way we could do anything at the mine is pretty much kill any of the bots that are dumb enough to run to it right away, which would most likely be ground attack, and that takes a little bit of time. And in all honesty, helping out to get this cap on the airfield made a lot more sense. You know, start generating those points quicker, etc., etc., etc. Alright, so we got the Super Cruise kicking in very nicely, and here we are. We're spotting our target that we want to go for. We're lining up on it, trying to find the right attack angle, and he's going to turn almost perfectly for this, and boom, there goes the damage, and he's on fire. And now we're turning back over and letting the rear gun finish him off. Now we were getting a little bit of fire here, so we're kind of tilting and turning. And here comes this fighter here, and he is now following us. And we got the second one too. This is basically tag and drag in effect. Go in there, kill something, watch every one of the air defense fighters get really pissed off and chase you. Now, as we left the thing, the cap point, the other fighter just, you know, said, nope, I'm not following you out that far. I'm going to turn around. That happens. Non-air defense bots, however, will follow you for quite a bit. Just letting you know right now, and it's really easy to exploit that and get 2 or 3 kills with your rear gun because of it. Alright, so now we're heading to the mine, and the mine is half cap, and I'm starting to regret that decision of not going there. It's like, oh, great, here we go. And I didn't bother checking to see if there were human players that were grounded attacks or anything like that. But our guys are fighting it back. And as you can see, we took them from half and dropped them right down to what looks to be about 10%. And we're still coming in there. We've backed off the boost a bit, and we're trying to catch it back up. So we have something for combat, and that's an important thing right there. And as you notice, we're actually fighting and starting to take the mine back. And I see this ground attack here. This is not an optimum target for us. Ground attacks have so much life, especially IL-2s. Pretty much anything Russian has a ton more life than it probably should. We do one little strafing pass there, not a huge amount. We had some reflection shots on this heavy. We actually got a little bit of damage there. We're curving back in. Probably should have flapped here to get a little bit closer, but I didn't want to burn off the speed, considering it's a 110 and he can actually outrun me. We take out his engine and pretty much his life. Yes, those quads really do add up if you're on the tail of a heavy fighter. We're going to throw some damage over at that IL-2 yet again. Not a significant amount, but every little bit helps on those Russian ground attacks. So we're coming back in. We want to do another strafe run on him, and he is actually going to stall out. And that puts him perfect. There goes his engine. He is flipping. He is pretty much stationary in the air, and he is down to a low amount. And the rear gun should take the kill. And here we have a Ju-87G. You poor bastard. Anybody who's ever played this plane knows exactly what I'm talking about. It is one of the most painful planes to play in this game, and we just are able to knock a great amount of life right off of him. And we're going to switch to the rear gun and finish him off because, you know, that's what we do. Alright, putting more damage onto this IL-2. Yes, IL-2s. Always soaking damage. Alright, putting a little bit on that multi-roll over there. We're going to be turning back around. We're going to take a little bit of elevation here because that multi-roll is a little bit below us, and attacking from a height advantage is always a plus. He's going to roll out, but he lost his engine in that process, and we're going to put damage onto that XP-44. But oh no, remember that heavy fighter we were dealing with earlier? Yep, he's back, and he is now on our tail. This is a horrible situation that we were not going to get out of. The 110 can actually outrun us even in boost. I'm not even joking. Alright, so he gets the kill. Payback is fair. No hard feelings. Alright, so coming back in, looking at the map, and I'm starting to see we've got two people attacking our airbase, and if we lose the airbase, that's pretty bad. Losing the mine, yeah, that'll suck. But if I go for the mine and I die in the process of there and they take the airbase, then we are down quite significantly. I cannot allow them to take the airbase. That is too much of a high priority for us. So we're going to fight to keep it. A little bit of hesitation in my turning and kind of hurt us there. It really did. I'm going to put some more shots on this XP-44 and he just gets out of range. But here comes this Spitfire, and boom, we get a good chunk of health off of him. We take his wing. He's going to back out of this, and I'm going to try to line up here, and there we go. And that is all she wrote. There went the engine, and there went his life. Good times. So now we're going to bank down and try to get an angle here. This guy's going to fly right over our back, which is perfect for us, and there we go. And there's another Spitfire taken out. We got the assist on that one. But still, we did a significant amount of damage to him. Alright, so we got this 209 V4, which are annoying as all hell. They're surprisingly fast. And trying to hit them is not always the easiest of tricks here. And lining up here, we're only going to get a couple of shots with our rear gun before he gets out of range. It's almost like trying to rear gun a heavy fighter that's running away from you. Now, at this point, I really should be considering heading back to the mine, but I'm noticing all I have here are air defense fighters. There's nobody else here to kind of defend this area, and last thing I want to do is leave this undefended with an enemy right there. It just seems like a really bad idea. Alright, so we got a chunk, and we're going to get the rear gun kill on him. Boom, there it goes. Yes. He used up way too much of his boost getting out and didn't have enough when he came back in. Alright, so we're heading back to the mine. Our goal is basically try to cap it back or at least stop them from attacking any of our people there. We have one ground attacker there, and it's looking like we have a heavy fighter chasing him, from what I can tell. And I would be right. And it's the same guy who killed me recently. So we're going to go in here and we're going to focus him. Now, the squall line is going to be up here in about 10 seconds, and that's going to be really good for us. Removing him from the game should be the priority. Alright, so 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for the kill. So we are lining it right up. Boom, 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 boom. Got some good chunk damage there, and enough for our rear gun to basically do its job. He burnt a lot of boost in his attacks there. Alright, so on the mini-map I see we've got company this direction, so we're heading over there, and I see a Spitfire. And we see an AD-10C2. I know exactly how dangerous that plane can be. Spitfire is no joke either, but no, I want the AD. The AD is actually being flown by a player, so that is a priority right there. And he did something really smart there. He knew he was going to be coming to the backside, so he dove down. This will give him that extra needed time to get out of the range of my rear guns. Smart little play. Remember that, guys. If ever you see an SE-100, don't go over it. Go under it and keep going down as much as you possibly can. And then circle under it if you can. Alright, so he turns back around and we're not having that. You are ours. Boom, bang, done. And that's going to be all she wrote for this game. Really good game, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so as you can see there, we got 10,000 combat points and 1,350 mastery points. But it's premium plane, mastery doesn't matter. Kinda, sorta, yeah. Okay, so like, in premium planes, pilot skills are pretty core for you. And this is a plane that definitely requires some decent pilot skills. So being able to get mastery points for that is quite an important thing. While we have our plane at a really good point, we could always keep adding more to it. Alright, so as we're loading up here into the stats page, let's take a survey of what we did. We had 9 air targets killed, we died 1 time, we captured 2 sectors, we had 260 capture points, and let's see, almost 3k damage on aerial targets, 133,000 credits, and 3,408 regular experience. But again, since it doesn't matter, 4,000 on the pilot and 7,497 on the rear gunner. And that is just damn near amazing. And that's the game. Like I said before, this is an amazing plane. I've had lots of fun with it. And it's pretty much a fan favorite on my stream. Now, truth be told, I got this plane for free from mmobomb.com. They had a giveaway. I will put the link down below. But if you've seen this video a little too late, or you're in the EU, that won't really apply. But that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. You can still buy it. Right now on the NA premium store, this plane sells for $10.99. And on the EU store, it sells for $8.88. I guess there's some sort of conversion thing there with the euro being better than the dollar, whatever. But either way, it's a phenomenal plane, and it's not very expensive. I would highly recommend getting it at your earliest convenience. Anyway, that's going to be all for this video. If you like these videos, please like, subscribe, leave comments down below. Till next time, this is Shiv saying, stay safe, have fun. May our Jesus bless you. Peace.